This video gives an overview of items to check for when examining a document for accessibility. Probably the number one item to check for is the use of headers. Headers indicate different sections of a document. This gives a visual and navigational structure to the document. Visually, the header will have a different font, either size, color, or boldness, from the normal text. In addition to the visual difference, a header should be also tagged as such. To determine if a header is tagged, click on the text of interest. If it is tagged as a header, you'll notice that up here under the styles that the header then is highlighted. A quick way to check for headers throughout a document is to go to the View and click on the navigation pane. This brings up a list of all the headers that are tagged throughout the document. And it also helps you navigate through the document very easily. Next thing to look at is lists. You want to make sure that lists are using the word list paragraph formatting for list. This can either be a numbered list or a bolded list. Go to the Home tab and you click on the text in the list. You'll notice that for the numbered list it'll be highlighted here, and for a bolded list it'll be numbered here, indicated here. You also want to take a broad look at the fonts being used in a document. The same type of font, for example in this one, Calibri, should be used throughout. If there is a difference, it should be intentional to emphasize a point. If there are too many different fonts, including bold, italics, or color changes, the importance of those can be lost. The rule of thumb that is, emphasizing everything emphasizes nothing. Also, when taking that broad look, you want to make sure that there aren't any poorly contrasting colors. You can see this one is all black and white. If you have something like, say, a blue on yellow text font, you can give it what's called a squint test. If you can squint at something and you can't read it, that's probably not high enough contrast and you should look at a different color combination. If there are images in a document, I'll insert one here just for an example. If there are images in a document, they should include alternative text. This text can be read by a screen reader, giving a visually impaired student an idea of the content they would otherwise not be aware of. Right-clicking on an image brings up the editing box. At the bottom of this box, there's a Format Picture. You can then click on this third item here, Layout and Properties, and you can see then if there's alternate text that's included. All that is necessary is a title. A more thorough explanation of the image could be given in the description here. Moving on to tables. Check for the use of the word tool rather than a table made by merely tabbing or using manual spacing. For maximum accessibility, a table should be kept simple. Each row and column should have a leader describing the contents. For example here, this is a date column, and so even though there's dates here described, you want to have this titled Date. Similarly, you have the reading column labeled as such, as well as assignments. For those, you also want to have a leader for each of the rows for week 1, week 2, week, and so on. Think of it like a game of Battleship, where you want to be able to indicate a particular square with just two simple things. So you have the topic in week 2, gives a square where it's a theoretical foundation. So you also want to only have a single item then in each one of these boxes. Last thing to look at are links. These are hyperlinks to external resources. For a link, you want to have a descriptive text. You wouldn't want to have this first one here, for example, that is full of random numbers. That gives no idea where that link goes to. This one here will actually be descriptive, right? You can tell that is going to design to deliver outline. The points this video covered, headers, lists, fonts, colors, images, tables, and hyperlinks, are the primary areas of concerns when checking for accessibility. While it's difficult to make a document 100% accessible, if none of these issues are seen, then the document is probably good to go.